My 25 male girlfriend, 25 female, of 1 year, has been told she's just the funny one her entire life and made to feel as though she isn't as pretty as her older sister. This is primarily her aunts and mother's doing. Pretty much every female relative she has, as well as some female friends from when she was in high school, have very openly praised her sister's looks and told her she's ugly compared to her sister. Her sister doesn't say anything when this happens. She doesn't agree or disagree, but silence speaks volumes. So I met my girlfriend a couple of years ago at a work-related gig. We became friends, and a year later, we started dating. While we were friends, I'll admit I had a huge crush on her. Not only was she smart, hilarious, and the life of the party, she was, and still is, very beautiful. When she said yes to going out with me, I was the happiest guy in the world. And I've been happy with her every day since. The thing is, I recently met her family, as in her immediate and extended family. And it was a very strange experience for 2 reasons. She prepped me on all her family members, but the one thing she kept saying about her sister was, she's really pretty, as if giving me a heads up. Weird. One of her aunts joked that they were shocked my girlfriend found a solid boyfriend before her sister did, implying her sister is prettier and should therefore have less trouble finding a guy. Also weird. On the way home, I asked my girlfriend about what was said, and she then told me, oh, it's normal. She's the pretty one. I'm the funny one. Worried that it would come off corny and white knightish, I held back for a second, but I eventually told her, you do realize you're funny and beautiful, right? She playfully rolled her eyes at that, and we didn't speak of what happened the rest of the night. I figured maybe that's the way she and her family rib each other. Every family has their own weird way of expressing love. Mine is a little weird like that too. Then I hung out with her family again, and it was the same crap. Except this time one of her aunts asked me to stand beside her sister for a second, after which she said, wow, they look like a couple. What the duck? Everyone laughed. Everyone except for me and my girlfriend's dad. He didn't seem amused, and I guess he could tell I wasn't amused either. He pulled me aside later and told me his wife and sister-in-laws, are crazy when it comes to looks. They have a ducked-up sense of humor, don't take it personally, etc. A few days later, I asked my girlfriend if it makes her uncomfortable when her family goes after her looks like that, and she said she's used to it. Basically, it does make her uncomfortable, but it's been a constant for so long, she doesn't feel she can stand up for herself. That's when she opened up to me about her girlfriends in high school, all saying the same crap. They would always call her sister pretty, but never call her pretty, and always look at her like, what happened to you? She eventually accepted that she was just the funny one and decided to own it. That's great and all, but she's more than just funny, and it quite honestly pisses me the duck off to know she's been made to feel less than for basically her entire life. Duck that noise. I really want to say something the next time her aunts talk crap, but she told me to just leave it alone. It also really pisses me off that her sister doesn't stand up for her. What the duck is that about? Oh, and my girlfriend later told me an ex of hers once asked why she doesn't look more like her sister during a fight. I ended up asking her if she thinks she's pretty, and she just shrugged passively. To be honest, I'm shocked. She's hot, you guys. Beautiful, hot, pretty, all the words, and she's hilarious. This whole situation makes my blood boil. Am I overreacting, or is this really ducked up? Update. She went to her parents' house to wish her mother a happy birthday this afternoon. I couldn't go because I had to work, and she came home with zero energy. I asked her what happened, and at first she didn't want to say, but she eventually told me her mother and sister took it upon themselves to tell her to hold on to me tight, because I'm already way out of her league. It wasn't said in a playful, joking way like, damn, your significant other is a keeper. It was said to hurt her, and it did. I am sure they said more on top of that. She went into the bathroom and cried. The door was locked, so I gave her space. When she finally came out, she very seriously asked me, what do you even see in me? I'm about 2 seconds away from going off on them. I really don't think humor will work on these people. Seeing her so upset, I think it might benefit her to either 1, go no contact for a while, or 2, sit back and let me handle it. I'm actually in shock that her own family is responsible for making her feel this way. And as a guy, I can safely say she is easily the most interesting, beautiful person in any room on any day. At this point, I feel like maybe her female relatives are jealous that she has so many things going for her and doesn't feel the need to obsess over the state of her makeup at all times. Mine and my sister's families are very close. Our kids are more like siblings than cousins. My eldest niece got engaged and we were all thrilled for her. My daughter and I spent hours on the phone with her helping her with early wedding planning. My niece even mentioned to my daughter that she was having a hard time finding enough bridesmaids because many of her friends are pregnant. Then we all started finding out who my niece had chosen to be in the wedding party. Everyone in the family was included except for my daughter. My niece asked me and her two sisters to be bridesmaids, asked my son to be a groomsman, included her parents of course, and even asked my ex, who has been estranged from my side of the family since the divorce, to be the usher. She made a wedding website with photos, descriptions of all the people in the wedding party. My daughter is the only one not on there. My niece didn't directly tell my daughter that she wasn't included. Instead, she created a text group with all of the women in our families except for my daughter to plan hair, makeup, etc. for the day of. My daughter was with me and my other nieces when we got the text and didn't have her phone on her, so she assumed she was included as well. Turns out, she wasn't. When I reached out to my niece for clarification, she stated that my daughter was not going to be included. When I asked her if my daughter could at least get ready alongside us in the bridal suite, doing her own hair and makeup, my niece said no. Her exact words were, "There won't be any room for her." My daughter is understandably crushed and has no idea why she would be the only one not included. When she and my niece finally spoke about it, my niece wouldn't explain why she had done this or apologize. Her only words were, "It was my decision to make. I'm sorry that you feel upset about it. I hope you can get over it." I never saw my niece as a mean person, but I am questioning my view of her now. I don't want to participate in a wedding where my daughter has been singled out, excluded for no real reason. I can't think of anything my daughter could have done to offend my niece. It seems my niece can't come up with a single reason for excluding her either. When my niece asked me to be a bridesmaid, I didn't know she was planning on asking everyone else in the family except for my daughter. I wouldn't have accepted if I had known this. Am I the asshole if I tell my niece that I won't be able to fulfill my commitment as a bridesmaid and just attend as a guest? I've already posed this with my daughter, and she thinks that me and her brother should both still participate because she doesn't want to be blamed for our dropping out. If I do decide not to participate, I will be making it clear to my niece that it was 100% my decision to drop out because I feel personally disrespected that she would treat my daughter this way. I'm torn on how to handle this. Edit. Daughter is 22 and niece is 34. Hey everyone, this is the daughter writing the update. My mom didn't know how to do an update post and asked me to write it for her. We're both here to respond to comments if you have any. I saw that a few people asked what my aunt's opinion was after the verdict was given on this post. Here is the answer to that question. My aunt said that she had told my cousin from the beginning that excluding me was going to hurt my feelings and suggested to her that I be a bridesmaid instead of my mother. My cousin turned down the suggestion but would not say why. I also saw some people wondering if something had gone down between my cousin and me that I wasn't telling my mom. This is definitely a valid question. The answer is no. She and I haven't had any problems prior to this, that I know of, at least. She has always been like a sister to me. If she ever had a problem with me or anything I've done, I would hope she would tell me. Another question I saw was about my relationship with my father. He and I have a very tense relationship, due largely to some mental health problems that he has. Prior to all of this, I had confided in my cousin a lot about this. This made her decision to include him over me hurtful in a very poignant way. After reading all of your comments and some deliberation, my mom ended up staying in the wedding party. I appreciate her desire to stand up for me, but I really did want my cousin's wedding to go smoothly, despite my feelings being very hurt. My mom respected my wishes. She is an amazing mom all around, and I am lucky to have her in my corner. After the conversation I had with my cousin, described in the last post, I was on the fence about attending the wedding. I then heard from other relatives that she was concerned that I would sabotage the wedding if I were to attend. I found this comment to be bizarre and confusing. At this point, I decided it would be best to remove myself from the situation entirely. I told her that I wouldn't be attending and left it at that. It was a hard decision to make, but your reactions to the original post made me feel more confident in my choice. The wedding did end up going smoothly. I heard from multiple sources that there was plenty of extra room in the bridal suite. I wish I could have been there with my family to support her on her big day. She and I have both been part of each other's major life milestones for as long as I can remember. I still haven't figured out why I was the only one excluded, but I have come to the conclusion that she and I must not be as close as I had always thought we were. At this point, I'm not sure that I want to be. Your feedback on the original post played a large part in me realizing that. So I moved in with my girlfriend to Philly 3 years ago, and my sister moved here a year ago with her kid after she got divorced. Her kid, Aaron, is a sweet, funny kid. He is handsome, smart, charming, basically everything good about a 17-year-old kid at the prime of his life. But my sister shelters him to the point of extremeness. I often am at their house and I see Aaron all the time, and he sort of looks up to me as that cool uncle. Basically, my sister makes sure he doesn't have any resemblance of a social life. He can't leave past a certain block radius of the house. He can't talk to girls. His mom checks his phone like twice a week for suspicious texts. He can't work a job because she thinks he's too immature for it, or she doesn't trust him with it, or something. He wanted to go to college in North Philly, but she told him she would refuse to pay because the school is too ghetto. The absolute worst part is that when he has friends over, she insists that she just kind of sits there and hangs out with them. I know it is because she can't stand the idea of him having conversations that aren't approved by her. He tells me this stuff, and I feel so bad for him. I know his friends, and they like to go out and hang out like any 17-year-old kid would do. But he literally has to be home for dinner at 6 every night, and then after be home at 9:30, so he can't do anything with them. He has complained to me about this maybe 100 times about how unfair it is, and it sucks even worse because he loves hearing stories about the crazy fun shit I did as a kid, and it just makes him feel worse in the end. I honestly think she's being extremely unfair to him, or she just doesn't know at what point to ease up on him. These laws have been there since he was 13. They should change by the time he's 17. She even has a goddamn breathalyzer. It hit a bad point when he apparently had a girl over 2 days ago and the mother walked in on them kissing and she flipped us shit. Now, at 17, kissing a girl is totally 100% normal. He is extremely noticeably good looking and fit. I am sure the girls can't get enough of him. But he can't hang out with girls like that because he has to be home right away. I told her she was overreacting, and she started going off on me about STDs and how she doesn't want to pay for his kid if she gets pregnant. She called the girl's mother angrily and told the mother, and apparently the mother told my sister that it was fine if they wanted to kiss, and my sister was shocked that any parent would allow such a thing. It seems as if she gets her parenting advice from ducking Nanny Grace. I should note that me and my sister grew up separately with divorced parents. The worst part is that he has little to no social life. He has like 3 friends at school, and he really can't do anything fun with them. He has resorted to playing video games day and night, and his mother flicks out on him for being addicted to those. But what the duck outs is he supposed to do? He gets perfect grades, he works out, to my sister's dismay. She has this little thing on his phone that beeps if he goes too far. Who the duck has that for a 17-year-old boy? When I was that age, I was doing road trips from New York City to Boston every month with tons of beers and girls and everything. And I'm sure he wants that too, but he can't because his mother is ducking insane. Not saying he should become some party animal like I was, but let the kid go loose a tiny bit for crying out loud. So basically at this point, he has been begging me for weeks now to say something to her about this. She listens to my advice, not sure why, but she really does. I have briefly said things, but nothing direct or serious. I do feel strongly about this. He's going to be living in that household for his college years too, because he's going local. It kind of hit a bad point when I witnessed her flip a shit on him for kissing the girl, and he was looking at me like, please say something about this. And I didn't say anything really. What do I do, Reddit? How do I go about passing this message in a way that opens her eyes and how she is hurting her son? I honestly feel as if he was to rebel and just do what he wants for a bit and go to a party, she probably would eventually give in. She wouldn't ever kick him out. But I obviously don't want to recommend that to him, lol. Edit. I should also point out that he does have a good relationship with her. This might sound weird, but they get along very well and watch TV and movies together and laugh and all that. She is extremely helicopter parenty and he despises that. But besides that, he does not resent her. He just wants her to stop being crazy about this. He didn't even care about the overprotectiveness until about 4 months ago when I guess his friends started going to more parties and such. So it's not as if this is a long-term issue. For most of his early high school years, he just played video games all day, so the crazy restrictive rules didn't even apply because he never went out. So now that he is trying to go out more and be with his friends, the rules are coming into play more and more and stressing both of them out. I just need her to understand that these rules are for a 13-year-old kid, not a 17-year-old kid. I think she will understand, but I still don't really know what to do. I would say our family isn't Richie rich, but we are well off. We just aren't materialistic people. We never shop for the sake of shopping. Example, I only have 2 or 3 pair of jeans, but if one is worn out, too old, I would buy another that might be considered overpriced in the $100 to $250 range, but will last for a longer time. None of us go shopping as a hobby or for fun. My older brother lives in LA and was dating this girl for a long time. She has a BA, makes about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. We thought she was very nice and very sweet, but some of the things she said felt odd. Once, she came home with our brother, saw our parents' cars out front, Audi and Jag. My brother told her that our parents only ever had used cars that were a little run down and soaked in crackers, spilled juice, soccer sweat from practice, etc. So when our youngest sibling finished high school, our parents decided to treat themselves for once in their entire lives and bought new cars. After working 80-hour weeks and grinding for most of their lives. She laughed and said, "It better not take you more than a few years to buy me one of those." My brother drives a relatively new Jeep. My brother decided to propose and had me help pick it out. We decided to get her one with the middle stone that was 2.5 carats, with the baguette on each side that was about 1 carat each. Brother proposed. She said yes but was upset, saying she expected a bigger ring since he makes enough to buy her 5-carat ring, and that she can't handle him acting cheap all the time. He was really upset about this because this ring cost about $40,000 and was amazing clarity, color, etc. And he researched it excessively and made sure that it was the exact design ring she wanted. He called me and got mad at me because I was the one who said he should get the main stone to be 2.5 carat because bigger than that looks a little tacky and showy. I told him that this is probably God waving a red flag and giving him a chance to get out. I told him that someone who can't appreciate that $40,000, especially since that's how much she makes a year, is a lot to spend on a ring. She didn't care about how hard he tried to please her, just about the money. He thought it over and agreed and broke it off. She called me after he asked her to move out and told me I was a meddling bee, and my brother will never get married when his family is so nosing. I asked my friends about it and they agreed. They said that you only get one engagement ring and she should get the ring she wants. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit. So, to clarify, the ring had a center stone of 2.5 carats and a baguette on either side of 1 carat each. It was just under $40,000. Some people are bringing up how crazy the price was. Our parents really struggled in their beginning as they are immigrants, so they would be going to school while raising 4 kids and things were tough. So we were always naturally frugal, but our parents splurged on important things for us and on life experiences, not on buying material possessions. But they did emphasize to us to never be cheap when it comes to presents or paying the bill. So with this ring, my brother didn't have a budget, he was just going for quality. He makes mid to high 6 figures. We all make around that. But I said we don't consider ourselves rich because we don't act like it. Always fly economy. Only our parents have luxury cars. We don't buy designer clothes, shoes, bag, except for maybe some items for work because the environment demands it, but we don't go on shopping sprees. Our parents told him, though, to make sure he picked something special because his wife would be the mother of his children, a sister to his siblings, their new daughter, and his partner in life. So he kind of wanted this to be a family heirloom to be passed on to a future child as well. But the way she acted, I think he was too focused on making sure that his future partner was happy. He missed all those red flags. He did get the ring back though. I know people think she's a huge gold digger and we should have seen it earlier, but my brother met her while he was at Stanford at a party, and she was from UC Berkeley, so we all figured someone who goes to a fancy school like that would rather focus on their own goals than leech off someone else. I guess we were wrong.